did you get in there? I'm giving your description to the proper authorities and reporting on you to our upper mid upper tier retail association.
Gray gone astray? Book a stay today. Are you mentally refreshed?
It is the duty of every protector.
Enemy operative! Breaking for cover!
That's why mental refreshment is so important.
Have to reload!
Don't need pour my life for revenge, my death.
Gray gone astray? Book a stay today. Are you mentally refreshed?
special.
It is personally overseen by Head Refresher Gould, the top cognitive devisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
Our enemies envy our sense of community. They sneer at our potential.
Continuing inspection. Restoring. Forever vigilant.
It is the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment
Sustain the
process
system.
increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry. Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for the... Come in, come right in, and be refreshed. Refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea, it's the law.
It is the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies un... inclinations and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry.
Are you ready to realign with the paradigm? To shed all manner of imperfect thoughts?
All it takes is some light instruction, a restorative cocktail,
And a quick dip into the lathe of particularity to abrade your imperfections. I'm Head Refresher Gould,
and I guarantee when you exit our doors,
you'll be a productive member of our perfect society again. Soon you'll say,
goodbye, imperfect thoughts, hello, contentment.
Just like being back on smoke extraction.
Greetings, subject. Or should I say refreshed?
I haven't had an imperfect in years. I can't recall how long.
To deliberate is to cope.
We reject individualism in all its many forms.
Welcome to the Wellnetarium. You're not on my schedule. A walk-in then. Wonderful. Once you're properly evaluated, we'll have you well on your way to refreshment.
And then our heads will be as empty as yours. I've seen this too many times. It's not as fun as it sounds.
Oh, you appear to have questions. A telltale sign of needing refreshment. Our facility's induction corridor is quite an experience, isn't it? A feast for the senses, second only to our Chief Edification and Remembrance Center, the Tomb of the Matriarch. Accompanying our Head Refresher's thought-lulling welcome is a musical score based off an inspirational composition partially hummed by the Consul himself, and a brief spritz of our very own repriorichin gas to boost attentiveness and provide the perfect touch of compliancy to commence your treatment here.
Mental refreshment is so important.
Placid Waters Wellnetarium is the primary mental refreshment facility on Praetor. We are tasked with ensuring local subjects are serene, untroubled, and operating at peak efficacy. Simply step over to my automechanical colleague to my left, / your right, and it will begin your assessment.
The console.
Greeting, subject unscheduled. Welcome to Placid Waters Welditarium. Evaluation commencing. Subjects are required to respond 100% accurately to all queries. Bespoke prescribed regimens may produce untoward ramifications if baseline data is greater than minutely erroneous. Query 1. Concisely characterize your personal perspective.
Prudence dictates.
Incorrect. The accepted answer is, I fulfill my duty to the Sovereign as a loyal protectorate subject by operating at peak efficacy, without error, perpetually. Each a vital cog. Query 2. Rate your present level of zealous efficaciousness on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the highest, 3 being a traitor, 1 being dead.
Cognitive divisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever. Remember, collective cognitive compliance is a key part of our perfect society. When we comply together,
Incorrect.
we thrive.
The degree of zealous efficaciousness expected of a dutiful and true subject of the Protectorate is beyond measure. Query 3. Do you ever fall prey to imperfect thoughts, including, but not limited to, doubt, disbelief, uncertainty, curiosity, recalcitrance, and mischief?
Mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies
Unacceptable. Obsequious denial detected. A perfect society demands perfect thoughts. Imperfection is impossible when the mind is a thing of symmetry. Final query. How would your neighbors describe you?
Provides, the system abides.
Unsatisfactory response. The appropriate reply was, they never questioned, never doubted. Their zeal never lagged. Formulating conclusion. Phrenometric matrix delineated. Subject evaluation score total 200 out of 200. The acceptable amount for a true and dutiful protectorate subject is 0. In conclusion, you are in dire need of mental refreshment. Now, proceed to the nearby pneumatic tube to collect your complimentary unitard and lift pass. Next, proceed one floor down, where you will be directed further. Your realignment with the paradigm begins now.
You'll feel ever so much better once your phrenometric peaks have
While
been
there are
lifted.
many mental refreshment facilities to be found throughout Arcadia, Placid Waters Wellnitarium here on Prater is uniquely special.
It is personally overseen by Head Refresher Gould, the top cognitive device. Responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
My irregularities have all been abraded.
I could tell you were in need of mental
Your
refreshment.
realignment with the paradigm
Possess a
begins
particular
now.
You are the raw material for perfection.
Try to blend in. Act like a neutered, brain-dead lunatic. Just be yourself.
Emotions are a gateway to mayhem, bedlam, turmoil, and vexation.
team plays the worst. Oh, you're new. Must be. You still retain that look of inquiry and deliberation. I'm Waylon. I once felt the same way. Others too. One even dug a tunnel. Staff didn't like that. They abraded that subject's phrenometric peak something good. A facilitator said that I'd been here thrice, but I only remember once or twice. They say my phrenometric peaks are resistant to abradement, but still, they try. Wait, I just blinked several times, didn't I? What did that signify? I couldn't leave. Not yet. Haven't completed my regimen. My phrenometric peaks are still jutting all over the place, they say. May you realign with the paradigm. Oh, hello.
Medicament dispensement has concluded for today. Please proceed to the lecture
Greetings.
hall.
Hello. My name is Abigail, and I am realigned with the paradigm. Head Refresher Gould says his recorded lectures are key to thinking approved thoughts. He tells us what to think and what thoughts are unsanctioned. It's also very helpful. That, a restorative cocktail of pharmaceuticals, and a quick dip into the lathe of particularity device can abrade all imperfections. Only internally, I'm afraid. You should speak to Refreshment Facilitator Tilden in the lecture hall. Why, it's right outside Head Refresher Gould's office. He'll schedule you an appointment. Just follow the signs to the lecture hall. Pondering begets disharmony. To deliberate is to court ruin. Notions are a gateway to mayhem, bedlam, turmoil, and vexation. Thinking never made anybody happy. I once possessed a failing of character where I would voice simple statements in a way that sounded like a question? Drat! There, did it again. Anyhow, I was reported for it? Oh, It is the duty of all Protectorate subjects to regularly converse with our neighbors, so we may determine if their zeal has wavered. I am newly full of zeal, free of imperfect thoughts. My mind is a thing of symmetry. My phrenometric peaks are all abraded. I only experience approved emotions. Doubt and worry are notably unsanctioned. A perfect society demands perfect thoughts, after all. Refreshment is inevitable. You can't fight contentment.
The right shifty-looking individual, you ask me.
Only the
kitchen pantry is presently off limits due to anomalous structural tampering.
Settle down, everyone. Lecture's playing. Prepare to be edified.
For today's topic, we'll touch on why our program is so very important. Misguided outsiders may wonder, what?
I'm certain as perhaps their faith fit.
The kitchen pantry is presently off limits due to anomalous structural tampering.
Require direction. As my good friend the consul would say, at its base, humanity unguided is cravenly, inept, and slothful. We of the Protectorate are not, because we do not allow ourselves to be. The paradigm charts our course, gives us purpose. The consul is the firm hand that guides us. Mental refreshment keeps us on task, free from doubt, efficient, perfect. And thus we enjoy amity, luxury, and resplendence. The system provides, the system abides.
Whole lot of meaningless blather. Standard Protectorate fare.
Greeting, unscheduled walk-in. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, how mentally refreshed are you feeling today? Rounding up for clarity/responding approvingly. Our refreshment facilitators will be pleased with your progress. Mindfully maintain mental momentum. Medicament dispensement has concluded for the day. Response. Medicaments are stored in medicament storage, the office in which this unit presently operates. Yet, it is strictly off-limits to all non-refreshment facilitator personnel. Farewell statement. May refreshment soon render you free from doubt. A vital cog once more. Greeting, unscheduled walker.
Aw, a new face. Well, I'd welcome you to the Wellnetarium, but the designated subject reader ought to have attended to that by now. Admitting you question is the first step in your recovery. But worry not. Soon enough, with our help and a little work, you'll never question again. Questions are an unmistakable sign of worry, disquietment, and worst yet, rumination. Once the mind is a thing of symmetry, vexatious agitatements simply waft away. As every loyal and dutiful Protectorate subject knows, thinking is best left to our betters. You've missed the daily medicament dispensement, if that's what you mean. But you should take that up with the medicament dispensement automech directly. The medicament dispensement automech automechanically dispenses medicaments. I see you found the lecture as edifying as all the others here. Good, good. Collective cognitive compliance is a key part of the prescribed curative regimen. Head Refresher Gould provides us with daily lectures in audio cartridge form to steer group thinking. As they say, to think together is to together thrive. Upstairs in the audiovisual aids office, of course. Though that area is off limits to all subjects not a part of facility staff or security.
Unthinking is essential. Unthink today. Unthink tomorrow. Unthink forever.
How very interesting. Here, take my pass then. It grants access to all mid-privilege priority areas. You must mean the lathe of particularity. One assumes you haven't had a session with Head Refresher Gould yet. You'll soon learn all about it firsthand. You'll feel ever so much better once your phrenometric peaks have been abraded.
It could have gone worse.
Mental refreshment really cleans out your common sense. Like an enema for your gray matter.
It is the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry. Collective cognitive compliance is a key part of your prescribed curative regime. Think only prescribed thoughts, and no bliss and plenty.
Only the Protectorate possesses the advanced technology and know-how behind the mental refreshment process. That's why we are all happy and contented, and others
This unit
are
is
not.
currently unavailable for meaningless interaction.
Prudence dictates we repel invasive elements.
While there are many mental refreshment
Sharp enough.
facilities
Hostile
to
nearby.
Let me know when you need
Greeting, unscheduled walk-in.
Placid Waters Wellnetarium, here on Freighter, is uniquely special.
It is personally overseen by Head Refresher Gould, the top cognitive divisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshed. Ever.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're
Hostile
I will restore my life or avenge my death. Pushing ahead.
Guards locked and loaded. Give the six.
There you go.
Look at a few coins, Commander.
Recharged for mayhem.
Hey, what's that sound? Why does the wall look so soft all of
Oh, do I detect a whiff of repriorant gas? You know, I suddenly feel a mite more pliable somehow. Surely nothing to question. I thought no one was due for peak abradement for hours. I should have your chart. Wait. Wait. Ha! You're not a protectorate subject at all. You have the telltale look of wonder and introspection.
And you, my friend, are mildly intoxicated and highly open to suggestion. In other words, vulnerable.
Well, the this is normally where you'd say something. My, can't believe I'm falling for that, as it may be the most Oh dear, I seem to be a little unstable at the moment. But never fear, I have intellect to spare. Even in a state such as this, I am more than able to apply my argumentative skills against thee. To what end are you here? Tell me truly, speak plainly. You know, I'm beginning to have an inkling about your purpose here, and a proposal. Adequately debate me on the merits and failings of each group's ideology, and I'll provide you what you're here for. I believe in the strength of our ideals. I'm quite certain I'll win you over. What's more, our colloquy promises to be vastly more diverting than my usual day-to-day blather. But if I'm wrong, what would Auntie's choice or the order or my word, you're not a scrapper? Well, none of them will know what to do with our advanced know-how. There's a good sport. Do try to keep up. So, what of the Order, our former allies, those cursed overthinkers, doomed to lives free of luxury, toiling away in ceaseless cogitation? What say you of them? They're obsessed with tomorrow. Why even worry about the future anyway? The paradigm maps out our path, so we don't need to be concerned about what comes next. What say you about Auntie's choice, then? Tell me, is there any value in the vapid emptiness of those corporate consumerists? Their manipulations are crude, if not efficacious. The sugar-filled rubbish they consider food sounds truly disgusting. And yet I do lightly crave it after. But to what end? For only the shallowest of goals, making bits. We, on the other hand, have transcended the petty exchange. In the Protectorate, we have the best of everything. Food, technology, a sense of belonging. Freedom from doubt, worry, hard work. No, the others simply cannot compare. I appreciate the compliment buried within there, I think. It is true that those of us more ingeniously minded can sometimes be misaligned with the Paradigm's plan. Temporarily, of course. One cannot and should not fight perfection. No, I haven't. And that seems a rather facile argument to make about a society that utilizes automechs to handle daily chores and, well, admit I assumed this conversation would be more engaging. Did you have any final points you'd like to make? As a, last chance to distinguish yourself? Her opinion to me would be largely irrelevant. All right, fair enough. In that little battle of wits, one of us proved severely outmatched, and I'm not sure you're complete. I am deeply disappointed by your lack of intellectual prowess, though ultimately I'm not wholly surprised. Suppose that leaves what?
It's a
We have an intruder. Edging forward.
I was led to believe my case required minimal treatment. But that last session, that was far more intensive. Strong observation, Your Sublime Radiance. We set the lathe to the maximal abradement setting, per instructions. Maximal? Who authorized you to use that setting? I demand the name of my betrayer! Subject is exhibiting increased agitation upon exiting the lathe, consistent with extreme cases. Further abradement recommended. Who are you speaking to? Are you recording this? Enough of this farce! Release me at once!
Access somehow. Our superiors must have arranged it.
I'm realigned with the paradigm.
My irregularities have all been upgraded.
Unfriendly company. They're mine. Look sharp. It's a fight. Work up, Commander. Don't make me a vent. Uh-oh. Commander's almost dead.
Hostile thing.
serve the sovereign.
Got troublemaker.
Straight
Don't hurt him, please. The Sovereign isn't at his best right now. You're not here to harm him, are you? If so, I must warn you, I will defend the Sovereign to the fullest extent of my meager abilities. Yes, it is. Our beneficent, infallible ruler, the Sovereign Henry Aloysius Varick, son of the first Sovereign, Reuben Varick. You'll have to forgive him right now. As I said, he is not his best today. We've been here since it was determined that the Sovereign, long distraught over the loss of his family, was in need of mental refreshment. Since then, he has been receiving dedicated treatment from head refresher Gould himself. Well, after his first session, the Sovereign was notably upset, launched into hysteric fits of paranoid ranting, absurd nonsense about how the consul had betrayed him and seized power. For his own good, he had to be gently but firmly restrained. That all stopped after his next dip into the lathe, thank law. He's remained quite peaceful since. I'm certain he'll be back to his old self in no time. Preposterous. The consul and all the vigilant are above reproach. No subject of the Protectorate would ever harm, or knowingly allow harm to befall our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign, or consider such a thing. To even think such a thought is unthinkable. This stately form before you is the direct descendant of the matriarch herself. All we have, all any of us have, stems directly from the works of his family line. I will stay true to him and the Protectorate to the end. We all will. The Sovereign is receiving the finest possible care, as he has every day of his life. Treatment outside the Protectorate is barbaric by comparison. Our system is perfect. Just leave us be.